beautiful and beloved ones. This is Lorelei from the Tightrope to 5D Music Reactions. And if you wonder about that title, stick around to the end. I have a special message for you about this historic shift from third dimensional consciousness to fifth dimensional consciousness for the entire population, which has never happened before. So that's pretty cool. But first we're going to do two Angelina Jordan, It's a Man's World. One when she was young and one was when she was older. And we're going to see how it changes and whatnot. So here we go. We're going to start with the first one. Okay, she looks to be maybe, what do you think? 13 here perhaps, or something like that. Here we go. Put it in the comments if you know.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world. Oh, be nothing, nothing but
That, by the way, that moving around is actually in the video, just so you know. But wow, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think she reincarnated from somebody who was a famous jazz singer. I don't know, but wow, I just don't even believe how great she is, even at this young age. Let's continue. That at such a young age. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. By the way, comment for me. Do you think it's still a man's world, and why yes or why no or somewhat or whatever? But look at her hair too. Isn't that so wonderful? Oh my. Let's continue. When she sings it, she just sounds like she's had so much life experience. And here she is at 13. You know, it just feels so gritty, so gutty, you know, that you must have had all this experience, but I'm telling you, reincarnation. By the way, friends, don't forget, I have now some membership tiers, so check them out. You can check out when you go to them and see what the little tiers are about. You can see the little video about them. And the middle one, I'm going to be doing strings of different artists, you know, like a bunch in a row. So I'm definitely at some point going to do this one. There's no way I'm going to miss her. So, but anyway, let's continue with her. so wonderful. I think probably it was taken just by somebody in the audience, you know, it wasn't a professional video, but who cares? I mean, just to have her, you know, in this way, singing this, so extraordinary. Wow, wow. And I love the flowers on her head and everything. But now we're going to take a look and see. Of course, it's going to change. Of course, it's going to, I would assume she's getting even better and better, better. But how extraordinary was she even at this young age? Wow. But let's go and check out the other one now. Look at, she's flat out gorgeous, isn't she? Oh, look at how beautiful she is. Wow. Okay, kids, here we go. Now part 2.
All right.
Oh,
It's one of my favorite
look at her hair. Oh, she's so beautiful. Wow.
songs. Haven't done it in a while, so it's for you guys. This is a man's world. This is a man's world. But I'm being nothing, nothing without a woman I would get. Man in the car to carry us out of the ball. Man in the train. Man in the left light to take us out of the dark. And man in the boat for the water. I know it all. This is a
All right, now already I can see, of course, you know, her vocal has just, you know, gotten even more rich and more vibrant, and her sticking with the song and like just being in the meaning of it. Like I'm getting a lot more of the meaning of it now. I don't know if you guys are as well. Like this is the performer in me talking, not necessarily the singer, but she's sticking like with the song. Like she doesn't look around and, you know, that kind of thing. She's like with the song every split second. Extraordinary. What's she wearing too? She got some kind of a leaf kind of scarf or something. I don't know what. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's the microphone. That's funny. It must be Christmas.
Baby boy, now I'm happy. Now I'm charge, and let the man make everything he can. No, man makes some money to buy from other men.
Oh my, extraordinary. Like so, and you notice too, like she's taking much more of the stage. Like she's not tied to just stand here near the microphone. She's just taking the microphone wherever it moves her, you know. So that's a sign also of an extraordinary, like getting more and more masterful. Wow.
He's lost in the wilderness. He's lost in the wilderness. He's lost.
wow. Hold on, we gotta go back and hear that again. Oh my goodness. Oh, she rocked that, didn't she? Oh, wow, she just rocked it. She just took that stage, and that note was hers, like in a way that wasn't in the other, which was actually excellent, but still, let's go. Oh, wow. Oh, she's just so extraordinary. I just want to say, I just love Angelina Jordan. Oh, she's just so extraordinary. And she just, in this genre of music, like, I don't know. I think she's like just top of her class, in this genre of music. Unbelievable. And she's just gotten more and more and more extraordinary, even from that age, when she first did it. Wow. Now, I had you comment there. Do you think it's really a man's world? You know what I got out of this one, though? I really got more than watching it before and more than other versions of the song. I got, but he's nothing without a woman. Like, he's really maybe a man's world. However, we're standing right there. And I'm not saying it is a man's world, but if you're coming from the context of the song, it might be a man's world, but you gotta have a woman for sure, right? So I got that totally in this version of the song. I really got that. So let's put this on my scale. 1 being very third dimensional, fear, pain, sadness, anger, suffering. 10 being very fifth dimensional, love, peace, joy, bliss, unity, oneness, harmony, and equality, really, among the female male energies. Well, let's see. It talks about it's a man's world, so it takes as a sort of a given that an idea that it's a man's world, which really is a little third dimensional. Okay. However, then it also brings in there the importance of the woman. So that lifts it up. And I mean, really, I kind of felt in this last one the importance of the woman a lot more. So the man's world is rather third dimensional, but the importance of the woman brings it up, and the sound of it just like feels so good, doesn't it? Just like to listen to it. It's that that jazz is always feels good to the body. It's not too hard, it's not too soft. It's just that perfect. So as far as where this bringing you toward the fifth dimension, I'd go with like a 7 on this one, I think. Because it's definitely lifting you up with the feeling of it and the understanding of, that a woman is important, but it is kind of like taking as a premise that lower thing, so. But not horribly, not like totally with anger and all that. So that's where you bring in the negative energies, when you've got the anger and the suffering and the sadness and all that. That's not present there, so that's good. Okay, so by the way, if you'd like to know a little bit about me, you can go to the About Me video on this channel, and that will also lead you to a longer video about what I call my forged in the fire of third dimensional earth journey here in this life. If you want to know about some of the things I've created, you can go to the About Lorelei here, the link in the notes on Patreon, and that you can check that out. So, wow, I just really enjoy this. So let's get to my message then, which, of course, I wanted to make it sort of fluid with this. So what happens to the male-female dichotomy, so to speak, as we move to fifth dimensional Earth? What happens to that dichotomy, or that kind of split, if you will? There's kind of a split here, male-female, and I've talked about this in a couple of my videos. I've talked about how the women were typically denigrated and subjugated in a lot of different ways through the ages, and then of course they had their uprising in the 60s, but that wasn't necessarily hitting on the mark too, because women were then trying to be like men and do all the things that men do, which is not what a woman is innately. A woman is a whole separate thing, her own separate, different energy than the male energy. Not that women can't do these things, of course they can. But as an energy, the female and the male energies are very distinct, what they are, those energies. So still, when she, instead of bringing the female energy to the table when women got up in arms, actually from the early 1900s all the way through to the 1960s, they didn't get up in arms and say, we're bringing this female energy to the table. This female energy of nurturing and kindness and love and gentleness, and is just as important as the male energies of the work and the let's see, taking care of the family financially and going out. I mean, work like what should I say? Work like the work out in the world, but also protecting the family in that sense of taking care of the family, and the action and the being in action. Those two things, those two energies, they're just as important as each other. So we didn't kind of get that message from the happenings up through 1960 and beyond. We got to, let's try to be the male thing, right? So I hope you're following me here. So so that had certain repercussions on the female, which I spoke about in the divine feminine, which I spoke about in one of my videos, and it also had certain repercussions on the divine masculine, which I spoke on in one of my videos. So the female, of course, being subjugated and not being able to be the full expression of the female who she is, and even now having to go out in the workforce, whether you want to or whether you don't. And I know that's a financial consideration, but there were forces behind making that come to be, and like take her out of the family and don't have her be the one that raises her own children, and then the children got to go and be raised by somebody else. And sometimes they call that indoctrination, so that's the repercussions on the female, the divine feminine, I should say, and the repercussions on the divine masculine is really that he's not able to have that beautiful energy around him, because he's always looking for, like, splitting up the female, to the one that is worthy to be a mother, and the one that is for the bedroom on the side. Not all of them, of course, but this is one of the repercussions. Like they think. Men thinking in terms of it's one or the other, you can't have the both, so, and that's been frustrating and very difficult. And obviously in some ways, then when the women rose up, having his hands tied even as the breadwinner, not feeling like he was the breadwinner, all that. So there's all these repercussions on the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So now what happens as we get to fifth dimensional earth? So what you need to understand is that first of all, both of those energies, both the divine feminine and the divine masculine, are very, very important, equally important. They're equally important on any planet. They're equally important in the universe, the galaxy, and the cosmos. In terms of creating and bringing forth life and having life in all of its kind of ways of showing up, right? Those energies are each equally important. Again, we've got the get up and go and the protector and the breadwinner and all that on the one side, that's the male. And then on the female, we got the nurturer and the caretaker and the giver and all of that on the other side. Okay, and all of those energies, they're equally important. There's not one that's less important or more important. So in fact, there are entire planets, as we understand it, that we've gone awry with having the male energy run wild, right? On this planet, and that's caused its own problem with the warring. That's another thing, is a warring and all of that is a constant. That's a male energy thing. So, but on other planets, they have a problem where the divine feminine has run amok and taken over the whole planet, which means that, like, just basically there's no get up and go. There's no impetus to go and get out of your comfort zone and go do other things and grow and learn and all of that. So there's like a sort of a steadiness, just staying in one place, on those planets, and not so much growth. So for the whole thing to work optimally, they are first equal, and they need to be recognized and seen as equal. So of course, obviously, when you get into the fifth dimension, these are equal. There's no question about these energies, that the divine feminine and the divine masculine are equal. And the individuals who show up as masculine or show up as feminine, they are equal. Now in the higher dimensions, you can show up any way you want to, but at a core, each one generally has a sort of preferred energy or beingness that this one would show up as. Okay? And so these are equally important. So as you have discussions and conversations, like you don't even know it, but out in the around us, all of the higher beings, the angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, the galactic family of light, have been having conversations about how to support us in a way that also keeps us free and having our, not impinging upon our free will, so to speak. So they're having those conversations out there, and coming to the table is the energy of the divine feminine as well as the energy of the divine masculine. And they're both equal. And the ones coming in and saying, well, we got to make sure that people are taken care of and that we do this at a slow pace so it doesn't overwhelm them and so on and so forth. And the other side is saying, we got to get in action now. We got to make something happen. We got to, do this or do that. Now, they're not going to do it for us, but what they can do to support us getting in action, right? So these two are coming to the table and coming to what you might call a compromise. Okay, that's what happens in the higher dimensions. 5D and higher, it's a compromise. As you come together and you bring those very important energies and what they have to say and what they're thinking, what's important, they come together and then becomes a compromise in a good sense. Because now it's not too overwhelming for everybody, but it's also still in action and so on and so forth. And believe it or not, this transformation on our planet is happening at the most rapid pace. You can't even imagine. To them, it's unbelievable. They didn't even think it was going to happen back 100 years ago. The higher beings thought, oh, this is a lot of them. And some of them did. Some of them saw the vision and they were pulling for the vision. But some of them were like, oh, yeah, that ain't going to happen. But here we are doing it and past the point of no return. So yes, it will be very, very clear to us as we get to the higher realms that both of these energies have their place and both are incredibly important. You could kind of lump all the energies that there are into those two sides of the equation. You could kind of you could look at it that way if you wanted to take all the kinds of energies and all the kinds of emotions and so on, and what would be more feminine and what would be more masculine. You could actually do that. So anger, for instance, is a more masculine energy. Tears is a more feminine energy. We know that, right? We know that because, there's jokes about it, right? About how women deal with this by crying and men deal with things by yelling, right? We know that, okay? As a whole. I mean, obviously people are individuals and whatnot, but. So that's what I wanted to bring you. It's something to look forward and something wonderful. And we're getting there. I think we are on the path. And I hope some of you can see as you put your little comments. I hope some of you kind of see that we've made progress. So not perfection yet, but we've made progress. I think we've made progress. So, okay, beloved, I'm sending you that beautiful fifth dimensional energy, the love, the peace, the joy, the bliss, the balance of all these wonderful energies coming at you now. Namaste. I honor the God in you.